الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ونبينا وشفيعنا ومولانا محمد عدد ما في علم الله صلاة دائمة برضوان ملك الله. Alhamdulillah, we are 2-3 days away from the blessed month of Ramadan, the month which is about the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal, the month in which the Quran al-Kareem was sent down to the Ummah, the month in which Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam has stated that when the month of Ramadan enters, the gates of heaven are opened and the doors of hell are closed. And usually when we get closer to the month of Ramadan, there are many issues in our societies. There are many arguments which take place in our communities. So inshallah Azza wa Jal, today we'll be looking at these arguments, and the main argument in particularly about the moon sighting issues. The issues with regards to moon sighting, which determine whether or not the month of Ramadan has started or not. So inshallah we'll have a deeper look into the methods which are used to determine if the moon has been sighted and the month of Ramadan has started. It's been reported in the Sahih of Imam al-Bukhari, hadith number 1907, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam has stated, Ash-shahru tis'un wa ishruna laylatan, that the month, it is 29 days. فَلَا تَصُومُوا حَتَّى تَرَوْهُ, so do not fast until you see it. فَإِنْ غُمَّ عَلَيْكُمْ, and if it is invisible for you, here it refers to the moon. So do not fast until you see the moon. فَإِنْ غُمَّ عَلَيْكُمْ, and if it is invisible for you, so if the moon is invisible for you, for example, if it's cloudy, if it's overcast, then you won't be able to see the moon. Then what does Rasulullah say to do? He says, فَأَكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ ثَلَاثِينَ, then complete 30 days of the month. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is stating that there are 29 days in the month. And on the 29th night, if the moon is sighted, then the new month has started. If the moon is not sighted, then you must complete 30 days of that month. SubhanAllah, look at this beautiful point from the Hadith Sharif. Rasulullah says, فَإِنْ هُمَّ عَلَيْكُمْ أَكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ ثَلَاثِينَ, that even if the moon is invisible, then complete 30 days. So even if the moon is present, if the birth moon is present, however you do not physically see it, then what must you do? You must complete 30 days. In this day and age, there are many methods used for moon sighting. There are many ways people determine moon sighting. And inshallah today, we'll be going through the main 3 methods used in this day and age for moon sighting. We'll analyze all 3 methods, then we will come to a justified conclusion on which method is the best to use. So the first method used by people is calculations. What is meant by calculations? So calculations is when at the start of the year, people, they use scientific data and scientific calculations to determine when each Islamic day will be. For example, at the start of the year, one may use scientific calculations and say Eid will be on this date, Ramadan will be on this date, Rajab will start on this date, Sha'ban will start on this date, Dhul Hijjah will start on this date, Dhul Qa'dah will start on this date. This is what is meant by calculations. Now the question is, what is the ruling regarding calculations? The ruling is that this is a bid'ah, this is an innovation. Nowhere did Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam state, go out the year, at the start of the year, use scientific data and scientific calculations to determine what day Eid will start, what day Ramadan will start. Did Rasulullah say this? No, Rasulullah did not say this. Rasulullah said, go out on the 29th night, and if the moon is not visible, then what should you do? You should complete 30 days, and if the moon is visible, then one should fast the next day. This is the command of Rasulullah. One should not use calculations. Rather, you should go out on the 29th night and go and try spot the moon. If you see the moon, then the new month has started. If you cannot see it, then complete 30 days, and then the new month will have started. Also, has been mentioned again in the Sahih of Imam al-Bukhari, hadith number 1913. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam has stated, "Inna ummatun ummayyatun," that indeed we are an unlettered ummah. La naktubu wa la nahsubu. We do not write, nor do we calculate. Ash-shahru hakada wa hakada. The month is either this or it is either this. This refers to 29 or 30. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is clearly saying, وَلَا نَحْسُبُ الشَّهْرُ هَكَذَا وَهَكَذَا, that do not calculate. The month is either 29 days or it is 30 days. Allahu Akbar Kabira. This is a clear proof against the use of calculations to determine whether the new month has started or not. One should follow the sunnah and go out physically on the 29th night and determine whether the moon is visible or not. This is the method one should use. One should not use calculations. And the second method people use to determine whether the new month has started is global sighting. What is meant by global sighting? The concept of global sighting is that if the moon is sighted anywhere in the world, if the moon is sighted, this is sufficient for the ummah. This is the concept of global sighting. This is wrong and this is nonsense. For example, if the moon is sighted in Saudi Arabia, does that mean Ramadan has started in the UK? No, it doesn't. If the moon is sighted in Saudi Arabia, Ramadan hasn't started in the UK. Just because Ramadan has started in Saudi Arabia does not mean it has started in the UK. If Maghrib time starts in Saudi Arabia, does that mean Maghrib time has started in the UK? No. That's stupidity and it is utter nonsense. You do not close your fast in Saudi Arabia. So why do you keep your Ramadan in Saudi Arabia? You do not open your fast with Saudi Arabia. You do not read your Fajr with Saudi Arabia. You do not read your Maghrib with Saudi Arabia. One should not follow Saudi Arabia for Ramadan. No, because they themselves say that if you do not live in Saudi Arabia, you should follow your own area. They, the so-called muftis of Madinatul Munawwara, they themselves have stated, we are only responsible for the kingdom of Saudi Arabia. If you do not live in Saudi Arabia, do not follow us. And then when you say these objections, when you say this to them, to the people who live in the UK, that why do you follow them? They themselves say you should not follow them. Then they will reply to you. They will say, oh Akhi, we do this why? Because it brings unity to the ummah. It brings us closer together. If we do Ramadan on the same day, if we do Eid on the same day, this will bring us closer together. This is wrong. And the response to this is that when was the ummah the most united? Ask them this. When was the ummah the most united? Then what will they say? They will say, at the time of the Sahaba. And this is true. The ummah was the most united when? At the time of the Sahaba. Allahu Akbar. And then when they will agree to this, that yes, the Ummah was the most united at the time of the Sahaba, then you will say to them, look at the hadith in Sahih Muslim Sharif, hadith number 1087, narrated by Sayyidina Qurayb radiallahu anhu. The great Sahabi says that Fadl, the mother of Fadl, sent Fadl to Sham. Fadl is a great Sahabi Rasul. He was sent to Sham, to Syria. And once he was there, he says the month of Ramadan commenced. The month of Ramadan started. And once we were in Syria, we spotted the moon on a Friday. Allahu Akbar. He says we spotted the moon on a Friday. And then he returned back to Madinatul Munawwara. During the month of Ramadan, he returned back to Madinatul Munawwara. And he said to Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas that us in Sham, in Syria, we spotted the moon on a Friday. Then Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas said, us in Saudi Arabia, in Madinatul Munawwara, we spotted the moon on a Saturday. Then Fadl says this to Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas. Fadl says, is our sighting in Sham not sufficient for you in Saudi Arabia, in Madinatul Munawwara? What does Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas say? Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas says, your sighting in Sham is not sufficient for us in Madinatul Munawwara. And this is the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Allahu Akbar. People, they say we do it on the same day to create unity. No, even at the time of the Sahaba, they did Eid on different days. However, they were still united. And Allahu Akbar, Imam Tirmidhi, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, he commentates on this hadith sharif, and he says, from this hadith, the people of knowledge act upon this hadith by carrying out their own moon sighting in their own local area. Subhanallah. Look, this is what Imam Tirmidhi is saying, that one should carry out their own moon sighting in their local area. And this brings us on to the third method of moon sighting, local sighting. This is the best method for moon sighting. It ticks each and every box, and there's no objections to this. The Rasulullah said, go out on the 29th night and spot the moon yourself. Local sighting, this is what they do. They go out on the 29th night. They do not use calculations. Rasulullah said, do not calculate. If you do local sighting, you will not need to calculate. Imam Tirmidhi says, commentating on the hadith in Sahih Muslim, that one should go out and do their own local sighting. This is what we do when we do local sighting. We do our sighting in our own area, in our own time zone. And this causes us to not make any mistakes at all. Why? Because this is proven from the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Just as Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas said that one should go and do their own sighting in their own area. And this is from the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So those are the three methods. And I hope now that you have all realized which method is the best method to use with regards to moon sighting. You have realized that Rasulullah has clearly forbid calculations. You will realize that that global sighting, this is not proven from Sunnah and Hadith. And also you will also realize that global sighting, there are many mistakes which occur and it does not make sense at all. And then you will have realized that local sighting is the most efficient, is the most best way to calculate and determine whether the month of Ramadan has started or not. I pray Allah Azza wa Jal allows us all to act upon what has been said. And also, what everyone now, especially if you live in the UK, you should follow your local sighting. Be the change in your families and in your groups and in your community. I know it's hard that some of your parents may be following global sighting. They may be following calculations. However, memorize the arguments, present the arguments to them, and because this is the haqq, because this is the truth, their hearts will open if Allah Azza wa Jal allows their hearts to open. I pray Allah Jalla us all to act upon what has been said. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ الْمُبِينُ.